Hello, everybody, and welcome to Garden Growth. I'm so excited to have you again week after week. Really appreciate the support. We are here again to talk, to discuss, to encourage one another in order to have a personal, practical relationship with God, and of course, to grow holistically through sharing personal experiences and professional expertise. Today, we are speaking all things property. My name is Tubeli Himaduma. And again, thank you for coming. So, the person that I have today, first of all, can I say that all of you have been pronouncing his name very wrong? Okay. So I'm going to allow him to tell us what his name is. What's your name?
Deslandi Fernando.
See, I can't even say it. I'm scared to even repeat that, but that's his name. I'm going to speak to Deslandi Fernando.
Yeah,
welcome.
Fernando.
Yeah, Fernando, it is real estate agent.
Yes.
Why real estate?
Interesting. Well, I joined 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Started as a PA, and then I just felt the passion about it, property, helping people getting their dream homes and so on. And then, I decided to go full time. And I've been in that industry for quite some time now.
Lovely. Yeah. Guys, like I said, today we're speaking all things property. If you own a property, if you've been wanting to own one, this is an episode for you. Do like, comment, and share. If you've not joined this family officially, of course, subscribe and press the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I post a video. First question.
Yes.
Is it important for us to have property?
Yeah, I believe it's important. At a certain stage of life, we all want to own something.
Yeah.
And real estate has been one of the safest investments. Mm-hmm. So I still encourage people to pursue ownership in property.
Are there properties that we should not desire to own? Types of properties?
Not exactly. In real estate, we always say there's buyers for every property. Depends on the price, of course. So it depends on what you tend to do in real estate in general, because there are a lot of things that people can do. There are others who prefer, for example, buy to flip. That is when you buy a property at undervalue market with the intention to renovate and resell. There are those who want to buy because they want to live. That's a primary reason that many people buy, actually. They buy so that it can be a main residence, and then others would buy to rent it out. Others would buy just to create a positive cash flow. So all that depends on what you want, what's your style of investment, and what you're looking at. But eventually, everybody gets to desire at least to own a property.
Okay. All right. So let's start it this way, because obviously our audience is young people. Yeah. I have graduated, have worked for 4 years, first salary, seems like I can afford a house. What is the first step that I should take?
I've been going through some universities and I've been talking to them, and I always say that when you're at university, that is when actually you build your credit score. That's the first step, because we work on a system with credit and affordability. Those are primarily the key indicators if you can afford a property. So while at university, make sure that you build up your credit score, and it's very easy to actually do that. You can do that by opening a small clothing account. Most important is that you are disciplined, pay that account so that we are able to grow. Imagine if you open your account from the year that you get registered at university. By the time you finish your degree, that will be 4 years. And 4 years is a lot on credit history. So with that already, at least you have already done the first step, which is having a good and positive credit score, and should be at least 650 and above, just which is a fair category. Then you start from there. Then the second time, of course, you have to have an income. An income, as long as it's at least the gross supposed to be more than 3,500 per month. Okay. So if you have a pay slip, if you have a good credit score, then you are eligible to actually start looking for a property. And of course, then there will be the third step, which is now you do a pre-qualification. It takes about 72 hours or so. You do that will allow you to actually know plus minus how much you would be qualifying for. Okay. Yes. And then you move on to start shopping, happily shopping for property until you find your desired and what suits your needs. Yes.
In the shopping experience,
Yes.
how important is it to have an agent?
It's on a shopping experience, it's very important that people first and foremost understand what they're looking for.
Okay.
So take time to research, prepare yourself and the possible questions that you may want to ask. When I look at people who are buying for the first time, I always advise that it's important that you have an agent, someone that will guide you through all the process. Sometimes you have not even done all that I said before. Then the agent is willing to take you through the process to say, let's do the pre-qualification number one, let's check your credit score, let's check how much the banks are willing to give to you, what are your needs. So that's the first consulting that we have. Are you looking for a property to rent it out as an investment? Is it going to be your primary residence? Are you looking for what we call bargains, so that you can reinvest quickly and get your money back? What are you looking for? You long term, short term, So once we get an idea of what the client wants, then we are able to actually help. It's important that everyone give as much as information as possible. So our duty as a real estate agent is to collect as much information as I can.
Not to take our money?
No. You actually don't even get to pay us. It's the seller that pays us. Okay. So I don't even have to get, it's all that happens is free.
Okay.
Until we close the deal, and the seller pays the agent. Not the idea that many people think that the buyer is the one. No. It's the seller that employs the agent to sell the property. Yes. Okay. So once we get the property, you're happy, we now move to other stage, which is the contract itself and all other small details that happen throughout the process. Yes.
Talking about the small details, what are the little tiny mistakes that you believe first-time buyers make in that whole shopping experience or even in the buying?
The ones that I've picked the most is that people don't save for legal costs. Number one, they don't save for legal costs. So what happens is they then make an offer on the property, then they be like, oh, I don't have cost. I do not save for them. What can we do? And that is number one. They don't have cost. Number two, sometimes you don't have deposit even. Sometimes may require you to pay some deposit and so on, depending on your credit score, depending on all the deal itself. But main is costs, legal costs. Number two is that people don't ask as much information that are entitled to. For example, if they're buying a sectional title, meaning that an estate, they don't ask, for example, the financial of the estate, which they're entitled to. They don't ask, for example, the rules. Because sometimes they buy, then they only to find out that they can't run Airbnb, which they wanted initially.
Yeah.
Yes, it is the obligation of the agent to disclose such as information, but not everybody will give you that. So you need to know. And another thing is that you can also request for market evaluation, which gives you an indication on plus minus actually what is the market price on that area, so that you don't make it an overpriced offer on the property. And then you know exactly plus minus how much they go for. When you are also gives you an idea when you have bought the property if I'm overcapitalizing or not. So all those small things. So, and another one is the utility costs, your levies, your rates and tax. All those small information is what actually make people later want to regret. They've bought the property. All they know is that monthly payment is 7,000.
Yeah.
That is all they know. Then comes the municipality, 2.5. Comes your levy if you're in the complex, another 3,000. Then they realize that actually they can't afford this property.
True.
Yes. And then they have to end up selling and things like that.
Hectic.
Yes, very hectic when we skip
all those little things, right? Ooh, lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Really, it makes us perish everywhere. It's not just in spiritual things, clearly.
Everywhere in life. If we don't take time to study and take time to actually understand things, we have make mistakes which could have been avoided by simply asking. Yes.
How is the buying and selling right now in the market? Which one has more advantage right now?
Right now, because of the interest rate just went up again. How can we say it's not the same as 2020 where we had an influx of buyers and the property market was booming.
Yeah.
Now people are more resent to actually buy a property, but we're still selling. And we believe that the market will turn around again. Did it affect affordability? Yes, it did affect the affordability of many people. So the properties that are currently selling mostly is under 1 million. Yes, under 1 million. Yes. So those are the properties that are currently selling the most. And I think people are starting to realize that it doesn't help to wait, because it will never probably going to get interest rate again to 7%. So, like they say, the best time to buy property is always yesterday. So if you wait, the interest keep going up. And then if you could not afford today, there's no promise that tomorrow you'll afford. So the sooner you take action, the better.
Is there an advantage that a younger person has in buying property compared to an older person?
Yes, a lot. There's a lot of benefits for especially young professionals. So the banks are competing among themselves to capture the young people and then turn them into property ownership. So when you're young, you first of all you have many years ahead compared to someone who's just
50,
getting
yeah.
50s and plus. So you have that advantage. So you can do a lot. So as long as you understand the foundation and how to go about how to navigate all that real estate market. So you have the possibility to get one property, even sometimes say one property per year, So you're young, you get one property, you pay well, you can refinance. The age bracket is not going to be a problem. Also, your qualifications also play a huge role. If you are first time buyers, another advantage. So there are number of advantages that the bank have placed for people who are young, under 30s, to actually purchase the property. Yes.
What do we miss when it comes to the financing part of property?
I think generally, what do people miss? I would say perhaps maybe to negotiate as much as possible in terms of interest rate.
Yeah.
That's number one. And number two is to understand actually how your bond is being structured.
Okay.
That's very important. That you take it with your bond attorney so that you clearly understand, am I on a fixed interest rate? Am I on flexible? So you need really to understand. So those are some of the things that people, many a time when people, it's the same when you're buying a car and I call you and say, Elisha, congratulations, you qualify for a car. The next thing you're just excited to say, yes, wow, I got a car. Let me sign in. That's it. So, but if you get time to really understand, okay, what does it mean? Why is it the interest rate this time? So can I put it on a flexible? Can I put it on fixed? What must I know? So the bond attorneys and the bond originator, they'll take you through all that process. You understand so that you are ready, and also helps you to make financial adjustment to prepare for that bond. Yeah. So many times people are not prepared. They just, property registered today. What's gonna happen now? Yeah.
I know I'm now struggling with the repo rate having gone up. What advice can you give in order for someone not to end up losing their bond?
I usually say that though people say the banks are cruel, they're not as cruel as people deem them to be. Take that phone call your bank, try to see what you can do, try to see what arrangement can be done. You can always try to reduce your monthly repayment. Yes, that's his way. Now being younger is important, because if you're young, then you're in a better position to negotiate, to say, look, I'm young, can you extend? I can't afford to pay, for example, 5,000 per month. Can you make it at 4.5? Then they will look at the credits, the merits, and so on. So yeah, number one is try to renegotiate your repayment. Number two, of course, what we always say, streams of income, trying to get additional income so that you're able to cope with that. Lastly, some small tips, like for example, if you have a 2-bedroom apartment, you can rent out another room. It's understanding the current situation that will help you to cope. So there's no reason for you to be happy or feel bad about yourself. It's all temporary. So if you have a 2-bedroom, you can rent out one of the rooms to help you to pay until you're in a better financial position. Yes, unlike allowing pride to consume you and then you lose everything in the process. Yes.
What would seem better? Buying an apartment
Yes.
right now, and then I buy another one next year, or I buy a house?
Wow, that's tricky. Many a times people always full title, sectional title, apartment, or
Yeah.
it depends on your needs. You know,
Okay.
it depends on also is it a big family, small family, all that. Yeah, the needs inform your decision. For example, if you're looking for safety, which is can be a big concern, safety and all accessibility. Many people will opt to get an apartment because there's a guarantee of safety, and
Yeah.
things are taken care of outside, from your door. Now they'll go for an apartment, and others, if it's a family in an apartment usually may not work out properly.
It's a bit
Yeah,
tricky.
imagine a family
Yeah.
of five, then they have only two-bedroom apartments to stay in. It may not work
Yeah.
out. And then you rather opt for a house, provided it's in a good location. So both are still fine. Like I said previously, it's depending on what do you tend to do with the property. That's the first thing. Why are you buying? Do you want to buy because you want to rent it out? Do you want to buy because you want to stay there? Also, you have to look at a future plan. Am I going to stay here for too long? Can I buy this apartment? Then when I move to somewhere else, I will rent it out and things like that. But primarily, what I saw is that young people usually go for an apartment when they're not yet financially so stable, which is so good. Then later stage when they have partners and everything, then they go look for that bedroom home. Yes.
In terms of acquiring the property,
Yes.
foreigners,
Yeah.
how are they being dealt with in the sense that do South Africans, obviously, I believe that they have an advantage in terms of
Yes.
home loans and whatnot like that. But what do foreigners need in order for them to acquire a property that may be a bit different from a South African?
Oh, okay. The process for someone who's not a citizen, it's slightly different compared to citizen. Of course, citizens have ownership, and they should have so. So what happened is that the Reserve Bank has highlighted some of the process. So one of them is, for example, if you are a foreigner and working here, you must, of course, you be in possession of a work permit or at least a permanent residence.
Yeah.
If you have a permanent residence, that's much easier. The banks may treat you on a 50-50 sort of home loan arrangement, meaning to say you come up with a 50% deposit and then the banks finance the other 50. But also each individual, it may differ because there are a lot of what's called merits that they can come in. For example, if you are a doctor, means that you fall under scarce skills. So we can motivate. The main thing that people can use to motivate to say, here's a person that is contributing to the economy, is qualified, has got a scarce skill permit, is needed in the country, is a doctor, put all this qualification and is been here for, I don't know, a couple of years. Instead of the 50-50 can be 20-80 or, or 10-90, and provided so he also has a deposit, which means he has been saving money.
Yeah.
What is he buying? Is he buying a property for family? Oh no, he's buying a property. Oh, let's assume he's buying a commercial property. He's buying a property that will create jobs. So all that is part of what the mortgage originator will do to motivate that application is their do. Yeah. So it's not one size fits all. It differs with each individual. It's the same as for nationals. For example, that people may qualify for flips, which now has been changed to first home finance. Then some may not qualify because now they've already bought their own second property. So there are criteria for everything. But at the end of the day, the banks they're there and they're willing to finance. And yeah, there's a lot of money. That's what I can say. There's a lot of money there to help people to acquire their dream homes.
And I know they're making a lot of money. I checked with my bond that at the end of the years that they gave me, my property would be 1 million something.
Yeah.
And I bought it under 5. So that's like more than 100% return. But well, guys, if I knew what I knew now, I think I would have definitely negotiated more. I mean, I was a first-time buyer, and I was willing to accept whatever in the name of at least I'm owning a property, you know, and I was worried that maybe, but if my job doesn't last and then I lose out on this pay slip and everything like that. Gender-wise, does the bank prefer women?
No, I don't. Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But however, women are buying more than men.
Why do you think that is?
No, it's just I think it's I don't know. I think we can't say in terms of focus, but yeah, generally there's a trend that women are buying more properties than men. Maybe perhaps the responsibilities that falls under, men is expected to do more things, to provide, protect, and so may just find themselves on a lot of financial commitment, which does not allow them to qualify for a property at that moment. But yeah, generally we have more. Actually, I would say young people are buying, the age of 35 below, they're buying, and then gender-wise is females are buying.
Wow. Yeah. You see, ladies, I've been telling you that you guys are focused. This gender, on the other hand.
No, it's not. It's not that we're not focused. It goes with commitment sometimes. Yeah, there's a lot of to sort it out before one can actually.
Right. Men take a lot to process things and make a final decision. Whereas women, we look at the now and we're like, okay, the now is possible. We're going to work on the now and go with the now.
Yeah. So there's a lot of variables for men I have to consider.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now let's say I have money, cash.
Cash is king. Yeah.
Cash is king. Yeah. And okay, I'm pretty sure obviously there are advantages to buying property in cash.
Yeah.
Compared to home loans.
Cash is king. Cash gives you opportunity to negotiate. That's the difference.
Yeah.
The process is the same.
Okay.
But it goes with the perception. So when a seller or anyone hears is cash, it's the idea that it's now, can happen now, right now, so that gives you power always to negotiate.
Doesn't the bank give them the cash?
No.
No?
No. You mean when you're buying?
No, when I'm buying through a home loan?
No, the money does not come to you.
Yes, it doesn't come to me.
Yes,
doesn't it go to the seller as cash?
It's the same. That's what I'm saying. It's the same process.
Yeah.
But however, it's just the time frame.
Oh.
Number one, and also the parties involved on the process. When it's bond, we're looking at bond attorneys, conveyance or transferring attorneys. However, when you're looking at cash, we only have one attorney, which is a transferring attorney. And then we'll look if the seller still has got a bond, then the cancellation bond attorneys, which is not that difficult. So, and also most of the time when people want cash because they're in predicament and they need the money to be available soon. So what could be done could be, let's say we're selling 1 million and say, okay, deposit can be available tomorrow, 500,000 is deposit. Then you know that your serious buyers here and he puts a deposit. Sometimes the seller may even ask that, can I not recommend, but seller can be in so much trouble, you can say, can I have 50,000 so that I can sort out certain things? So cash gives us that edge to be in a position to really bargain,
Yes.
Yeah. But
it's cash is king and
yes, but it's all the same. And end of the day, it's the same. But yeah, you rather you opt what you can afford, what you can. Yes. Okay. Ideally, everybody wouldn't want to get a bond.
True.
Yes, but why must we use your money when you can actually use the bank's money?
Listen to that.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit. I know this might be a little bit of a secret.
Yeah.
But which areas do you advise right now are like quite affordable that we can all go running to and buy a property in?
And obviously, as I would say, my area where I come from, so I'm gonna say Val. You know, I always say that you must look at the entry point.
Okay.
You know, property is the only person that you don't have to, especially if you're buying for investment, you don't necessarily have to leave there to actually enter in the property game. So you can be in Johannesburg and buying property in the Val, and you start your journey. You move from the Val, coming back to Johannesburg, but with a stronger portfolio. So the idea that, especially for people who want to be investors, the idea that I must buy where I am may not be realistic, because maybe where you stay, properties are above 1 million, and you currently only qualify for 350. What you do? Are you now not going to buy because where you stay you can't afford? Why not start where you can afford and make your way up? So it's that flexibility. So investing in property gives you that flexibility.
Okay. Yeah. Lovely. Last question.
Yes.
How important is it to own a property from a Christian perspective? Does God take the ownership of property very seriously?
I want to believe yes, because even when you look at the definition of real estate itself, it's something that is tangible. And when you look at the history, you look at Abraham, you look at Noah, all the people, all the patriarchs, all the people, they in the Bible, God always said them, I will show you a land. I'll give you the land. So that the principle of ownership is it's godly. And yes, so God is always wanted their children to own something. Even in heaven, we're going to own houses. So
amen. Yeah. Love that. I mean, he created the Garden of Eden before he put the man. So that's so a wonderful concept.
Is something that God really takes it seriously.
Lovely.
When you read your stories, you realize that it's something that is always, in fact, all the blessings, it's always attached to land, attached to ownership of real estate.
Yes. And not just owning, but also taking care of that land, because I know most properties that have lost value because the people that were staying in there, they just
neglected
them. So it's also very important that if you are thinking of even reselling, it's a godly principle. Yeah,
we are steward. So whatever I give us, we must take a good care of it.
Amen.
Yes.
Love it. Thank you so much, Deslandi, for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. We are definitely going to have him again. I keep on saying this about all of my guests, and that is because they have wonderful content and knowledge that I think we all need, especially today. As young people, it's a step that we procrastinate to take and we dread. And I know that there are a lot of fears, like, am I going to be able to afford this next year? Do I really need to do it now? And we opt for buying cars. And as convenient as they are, I think property is a better investment.
It's a good foundation.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and Deslandi. It has been absolutely amazing. Until next time, God bless and take care.